Welcome to CSGuitars, the science of loud. Ahoy comes the cry from above. High in the rigging of the mizzenmast, the ship's topman has spotted a beauty out on the sea, her choral voice ringing clear over the crashing waves. You've heard stories of such creatures before and how they doom ships to wreck on the rocks. Lash yourself to the mast, sailor, and try to resist the song of Juliana, Walrus Audio's new deluxe version of their popular Julia Chorus vibrato pedal. This is packed full of interesting additions, including stereo ins and outs, expression pedal control, tap tempo, momentary functionality, and random LFO movements for some truly unique frothing swells. Join me as I dive into the blue and let the siren drag us to the watery deep. What is chorus? Well, it's two or more voices singing the same part. The chorus of a choir is multiple voices all singing together to sound much fuller and bigger than any individual voice could achieve on its own. If you want your single guitar to sound as full and wide as two guitars playing together, then using a chorus pedal is an excellent way to achieve that illusion. Now, you could just duplicate the guitar line exactly, but that would only make things louder. A critical part to what makes chorus sound so thick and deep is that each voice in the chorus is slightly different. There will be tiny variations in pitch and timing between all the voices. A chorus pedal achieves this by duplicating the original signal and sending the copy through a delay circuit, which modulates the delay time at a rate dictated by a low-frequency oscillator. This gives a steady rise and fall in pitch of the signal on the duplicated line. Wait a minute, a steady rise and fall in pitch? If you're thinking that's exactly what a vibrato is, then you'd be 100% correct. All chorus pedals are technically vibrato pedals, which in themselves are technically just very specialist delay pedals. The only difference is that a chorus will recombine the original signal with the vibrato signal at the output. Blending the two together gives a lush, swimming chorus. Multiple voices singing together, but each distinct and different from one another. Juliana exploits this relationship with the DCV knob. This is a simple blend, going from completely dry when counterclockwise to full vibrato when fully clockwise. In the middle, we get an equal blend of the two, which is common for chorus pedals, but being able to blend a little in either direction gives a few more unique chorus sounds. Juliana also features a lag control, which introduces an ever-increasing timing delay to the signal passing through the LFO. Now, we mentioned before that chorus vibrato pedals are technically very specialist delay pedals, utilising delay chips with very short delay times to achieve their pitch shifting effect. If you've ever messed around with an analog delay pedal, then you'll know that changing the delay time while passing signal through the effect results in the pitch of the repeats changing. Chorus pedals do exactly the same thing. It's the LFO which shifts the delay time around a central point to achieve that rise and fall in pitch. While there is clearly a time offset required to achieve this, it's not long enough for us to perceive it as two distinct notes like we would with an echo. It's within the tolerance of our auditory system to accept both of these sounds as happening at the same time. It's only the changing in pitch that becomes noticeable. What the lag control does is shifts that centre delay time further and further back from the original signal. Again, not so much that we can recognise a distinct echo, but far enough back in time that our ears can perceive that the sounds have become desynchronised. This lag on the wet signal helps to further emphasise the depth of the pitch oscillations. Shutting the lag off completely gives a tight, classic chorus, but the more lag we introduce, the more seasick and nauseating the sound becomes. The low-frequency oscillator is what dictates the movement of a chorus or vibrato, the speed and depth of the oscillations being selected by the rate and depth controls. The LFO has three settings here: sine, triangle, and random. Sine waves have nice, smooth, natural-sounding transitions, making them perfect for driving vibrato, while triangle waves change their direction abruptly, and LFOs of this type were used in vintage chorus pedals, so if you're looking for a retro modulation vibe, that's the one you want to use. Random does exactly what it says on the tin. The steady predictability of the previous LFO settings are absent here. This will rise and fall by different amounts over time, producing something a bit more unusual, but nonetheless intriguing. If you want to ensure that the LFO is synced up to the beat of the music that you are playing, then you can use a tap tempo function to tap in the desired rate for your modulation. The division switch allows you to divide what you tap into either quarter notes, quarter note triplets, or eighth notes. Yeah, sure, that's all really cool, but how would you like to ramp your chorus speed from slow to fast? Well, Juliana contains 2 LFOs. You can set the secondary LFO rate by holding down the bypass switch and then turning the rate knob. Then at any point you can hold down the tap tempo and Juliana will ramp between LFO 1 and LFO 2 speed. Pretty neat. Or alternatively, you could connect an expression pedal to have full control over speed or depth swells. It's also possible to drift the rate, the equivalent of having a third hand to manipulate the rate control slightly as you play. This is selected by holding down the bypass switch and turning the depth control. This adds further variance to the way the chorus moves, and with all of these controls working in conjunction with each other, we can go from subtle warbles to dizzying seasick churning. Oh no, it's happening, isn't it? This video's integrity is under attack from an outside influence. I'll be right back with sound samples in a minute!
You're probably wondering why I'm tearing September out of all of these calendars. It's because I love September so gosh dang much. That's why I'm gonna put together my own calendar. It makes it September every month of the year, every day of the year, September, every single day. Why do I love September so much? It's because it's Guitar Month, all month long at Sweetwater. Guitar Month means 0% interest for 48 months. 4 years of 0% interest to go buy whatever guitars you want. You also earn bonus bucks that you can use to buy even more guitars. July's not gonna do that for you. You can also buy all kinds of guitars that you can't get anywhere else. They only sell them at Sweetwater. And it's not just guitars, it's also amps, pedals, accessories, anything to do even vaguely with guitars. I've done it. It's perfect. A whole year of Guitar Fest. Even little September. If you don't have a calendar like this though, you're gonna need to get over to Sweetwater right now. You need to take advantage of all the deals, all the opportunities, all the bonus bucks, all the 48 months of 0% financing that Sweetwater's Guitar Fest is offering. Go do it after you're done watching Colin's video.
I think I got him. I've got no idea how Ryan managed to penetrate my defences so easily, but next time I'll be ready for him. Anyway, let's take a look at how to use chorus vibrato pedals. There are many ways one could use chorus vibrato pedals, so I'm only going to touch on a couple of examples that you will hear in the sound samples going forward. Subtlety is key. I've heard a lot of people say that they hate chorus, but I suspect that's because they're using too much of it. Chorus works best when used to emphasise your guitar sound without overtaking it. A slow, subtle movement to clean sounds or to distorted lead tones can really help them pop without the listener being totally aware there's an effect happening. It's the kind of thing where it shouldn't be overly obvious something is there, but when you turn it off, you know something's missing. Therefore, slow speeds with medium depth are what you're going to find yourself using most often, as this gives you the movement you need without the effect becoming overbearing. I use this on picked, clean passages where I want a dreamier sort of sound, and particularly on distorted lead lines as it thickens them up and makes them hit hard without obviously changing their tone. The speed and depth controls have an inverse relationship. If you find yourself wanting to increase the speed, you're probably also going to want to decrease the depth to prevent the effect becoming too ungainly. Speedier, rhythmic choruses can add a real mood to a track, but you often don't want those associated with wide pitch variations. Ramping from slow to fast speeds, however, is great for giving the approximation of a rotating speaker, and this is one place where more depth might add some extra emphasis, as you're ramping into those fast speeds for only a short time on sonically impactful moments. When using the vibrato side, speed really isn't your friend unless you're deliberately going for a very wild effect. Vibrato works much better for very slow but very deep movements, the type of pitch fluctuations you would find when playing back an old tape machine or vinyl record. These can be very subtle indeed, as you will hear from the sound samples, but again adds a real mood and embodies the idea of if it wasn't there, you'd miss it. We're going to have the Juliana in the effects loop of the Rocker Verb 50, and I'm running mono in, stereo out into the Mako D1 Echo machine and recording both of those outputs separately for some real stereo action. So it's a stereo chorus into a stereo delay. Get your headphones on. Juliana does those classic chorus sounds really well, so whether you want to be adding a wash of depth to cleans or thickening up those classic rock lead lines, you'll find it all in here. But what I think makes this stand out above other chorus pedals I've tried is the convincing detuning that happens when you push more towards the vibrato side. This is especially prominent when run in stereo with the random LFO engaged. Subtle settings here give the impression that the music is playing from a warped vinyl record or from a really old tape machine that's in need of alignment. While these effects aren't in your face, they do add some genuine interest to your guitar parts. It's an instant retro vibe. So if you like vintage sounds, they are abundant here. However, if you are the sort of wild contemporary experimenter looking to get unusual with this, you can push some stranger sounds to the fore while still retaining the musicality of the signal beneath. A lot of other modulation effects simply become unusable at their extremes, but Juliana strikes a good balance of sounding ridiculous while still being practical. As far as lush stereo chorus goes, Juliana hits the sweet spot of having all those classic tones that I love while still being fully featured enough to generate some interesting and unique sounds of her own. The expression pedal input is a fantastic function, allowing for full control over the speed or depth right there at your feet, and the speed ramp built into the tap switch gives a delightful Leslie-style operation. The ability to continuously blend between dry and full vibrato makes most use of what's going on under the hood in this chorus pedal, so no matter if you want those subtle warping pitch variations or fast washy choruses, Juliana can do it all. If you liked what you saw in this video and you want to find out more about this and perhaps even grab one for yourself, then links are in the description underneath this video. And don't forget to click all the buttons you're supposed to make this video viable to the ever-changing whims of the YouTube algorithm. But that's all for now. Keep it loud and stay safe.